Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Shai Bahashem Bakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Akwath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And this lesson is going to be about the failing of Esau Edom. His plans will fail. All right, they're going to do all this work for nothing. All right. So I'm going to start with Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter, starting at verse 10. And it reads, "Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient grays of the aged." And when you look at how they're telling people to wear double masks, I'm seeing these old people that can barely breathe already. Now they got people running around, some people wearing double masks. All right, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. This is some low grade oppression, which is going to turn to high grade oppression. You know, I did see the video of the European woman. I don't know if she was going into Canada or she was coming into America, but her son tested positive, her young son, and he tested positive for that stuff. And they took him into an internment camp, and they gave her no information, and she just started recording the whole thing. And she just wanted to know where they were taking him, how long they were gonna take him, and she professed that they took him against his will and against her will. All right. So, hey, when the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. So the whole world is mourning right now, and they're going to use this situation to establish their plan. And once they do, that's when the Lord is going to destroy them. So, you know, that's why the days are going by. We're praying that the days be fast. But let's continue with the reading. All right. And it says, "Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth." All right. I personally have been going through this court issue where I beat the opposition in court, and they didn't even show up to court because they had no defense. And this is a major billion-dollar industry. They did not show up to court. The judge was confounded, and you know what? The judge is just sitting on it, getting all these messages from the court deputy that my case is in her queue, you know, to be ruled over, and we're going into the 6th month now. This is ridiculous, you know. They brought, because you know, I thought I'd beat the thing, but then they brought it back. So, and now it's just sitting there. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like this, but this is what we're talking about. Once you beat them and expose them, then they just say, well, we have all the guns, we're the government, so to hell with it if we're wrong. We're just going to do what we want to do anyway. So once again, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore let us lie and wait for the righteous man, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending of the law, and objective to our infamy and transgression of our education. And we use the scriptures to justify what we're saying and show that they're not righteous. All right, that they're wicked and that they are the wicked. All right. He professes to have knowledge of God, and he calleth himself a child of God. He was made to reprove our thoughts, and we are the children of the Most High Power. All right. He is grievous unto us to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are another fashion. We follow the law, statutes, and commandments. We uplift the law, statutes, and commandments, and they are complete opposition of it. The fact that all professional men and all professional positions in this empire, the majority of them wear bald faces. That is, to shave your face completely bald when you're 60, 50, when you're 40, 50, 60, 70 years old with a bald face is complete blasphemy, and that's against the Lord. They even show you that, and because they're supposed to be a Christian society, but even when you look at the false Renaissance art of the pale face saints, they all had beards. All right. The men of the Lord, the Israelites, part of their laws is for the men to have hair on their face. But they'll say that that's unprofessional or unsanitary, which is a complete and total lie. All right. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways. As from filthiness, he pronounceth the end just to be blessed, and maketh his boast in God into his Father. And we do. We know that the end has to come before we're blessed. We do profess that. All right. And which is another reason why they've been stalling to do a lot of things that they were going to do, because they're afraid of that end. All right. But now we're to the point of no return on both sides. We have no plan B, and neither do they. This is full steam ahead. Their carnality war against our spiritual war. All right. Let us see if his words be true. Let us prove what will happen in the end of him. All right. So their goal is to exterminate so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans off the earth, especially the men. All right. Because that's how the race comes back, through the men. Okay. The men carry the seed. Verse 4. I'm sorry. 18. For if the just man be the son of power, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. Let us examine him despitefully and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience, our suffering. Because what do we always bring out? Revelation 13, 9, and 10. You know, how, matter of fact, let me just grab it real quick. Because we're suffering patiently, waiting for these people to go down. Revelation 13 and 10, and it reads, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. See, that's the end that they were speaking of, that we're waiting for. All right. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Their blessing was the sword. That's how they got control over the whole entire earth and the rule over the earth, by use of the sword. Rape, robber, murder, killing, then establishing laws to keep themselves in power. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Patience means to wait, to suffer. All right. We're patiently waiting for them to be removed from power. All right. It says, let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own sayings he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine, in which deceive, for their own wickedness have blinded them. All right. So their own wickedness have blinded them by wishing these things upon us. All right. It says, as for the mysteries of power, they knew them not. They didn't know the mysteries of God. We did. All right. We were giving the understanding of the mysteries. All right. Which are being brought forth, which they're trying to desperately come against by they demonetize truthers videos, and then they just outright shut down our channels when we bring out historical proofs and knowledge and wisdom of the scriptures. They try to block it. It says, neither hope for the wages of righteousness, nor discern the reward for blameless souls. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be in the image of his own eternity. So that's what comes when they begin to strike us down. The immortality comes. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter, verses 3 through 6. And it reads, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. Our life shall pass away as a trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed for as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun and overcome. Salakia, I'm reading verse 2. That I'm meant to be in 3. Salakia. 3, 1 through 6. Salakia. Wisdom of Solomon 3. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of God. and there shall be no torment touch them. And there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. So, as some of us will be martyred, it is for it is written. And when we're killed, whatever happens to us, it's, the scripture talks about he saw the souls of them that were beheaded. All right, but in the eyes of the unwise, we seem to be taken as misery, but it's not. It says, and they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For they be punished in the sight of men, yet there is hope. Yet their hope is full of immortality, because we believe and we know that the immortality is coming, even if we must die serving Yahweh Bashem Shai. All the disciples died, man, except John, and they didn't die pleasant deaths. Okay, but this time around, the Lord said He's going to lift up that standard. You're not going to be able to do to the prophets as you've done in the past, including our own people, because our own people killed the prophets because they didn't like the message that we brought, reproving them on their wickedness. Verse 5, it says, and being a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. God hath proved them and found them worthy for Himself. As gold in the furnace, He hath tried them and received them as a burnt offering, man. So the Lord is going to give a great reward for those of us who serve Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right, until the end. Literally, to death do us part right here, man. All right, that's what we're talking about. All right, let's go to Job, to the book of Job, the 20th chapter and the 4th verse. And it says, knoweth not this of old, since man was placed on earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but a moment. So it seems like they've been in rulership a long time, but they really haven't, man. That's that little season that it talks about in Revelation, I believe the 12th chapter. All right, when the dragon was loosed, that dragon being Esau, Edom, the rebirth of the Roman Empire, man, the Edomites, through the Renaissance, through the rebirth, they came back into power. All right, they started coming slowly into power in the late 1300s. All right, and then 1492. When Columbus sailed, they were still working themselves up. So now we're literally going from the 1500s up until present time, and that's a small season when you understand time according to how it's measured in heaven. All right, the scriptures tell you in Peter that 1 year to the Lord, or 1 day to the Lord, is 1,000 years to us. So it literally has been just a moment, man. All right. Yeah, so it says, let me read verse 5 again, Job 20 and 5. The triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So they just have a short time to enjoy their rulership. All right, this is Job. I think, did I read that? Let me see. Yeah, this is Job 34 and 20, and it reads, in a moment shall they die, and the people shall be troubled at midnight and pass away, and the mighty shall be shaken away without hand. So just as they go to fill their belly, the Lord's going to strike them down, man, just as the scripture says. As soon as they push the button to establish their digital currency and they start chipping people, that's when it's all going to happen, man, when it's forced. All right. Because that's what they're working their way up to. Combining the whole world to create a one world system. All right. It says, for his eyes upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his goings. There is no darkness nor shadow of death where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves. And hey, look, you can run, but you can't hide. You can close the door, go into your domes, your deep underground military bases. You can dig into hell, going into the earth, into the sides of the rocks of the mountains. You can try to hide under the sea, in your underground, in your underwater places, and the Lord's going to send Leviathan after you. There's no escaping. All right. For he shall not lay upon man more than right, than he that enter into the judgment of God. He shall break in pieces mighty men without number, and set others in their stead. So he's going to set us in our place. He's going to destroy you and put us in your place where we belong, as the heads, as the leaders and the judges of the whole earth. And the earth can finally be ruled in righteousness, and the people can actually rejoice. Therefore he knoweth their works, and he overturneth them in the night, so that they are destroyed. So he's going to overturn everything. He's going to undo all that you've done. You did all that work for nothing. All right. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 4th chapter, verse 17 through 20. And it reads, for they shall see the end of the wise, and shall not understand why God God in his counsel have decreed of him, and what end the Lord hath set him in safely. They shall see him and despise him, but God shall laugh them to scorn. And they shall hereafter be a vile carcass and a reproach among the dead evermore. For he shall rend them and cast them down headlong, and they shall be speechless, and shall shake them from the foundation, and they shall be utterly laid to waste, and be in sorrow, and their memorial shall perish. And when they cast up the accounts of their sins, they shall come after with fear, and their own iniquity shall convince them to their face. So all your wickedness, you won't be able to, it's going to all be put in your face, man. Your history and your doings are the record against you. Your history and your doings are a record against you, man. All right. Let's go to Wisdom in the 5th chapter now. Wisdom of Solomon 5. All right. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. You made no account of our labors, man, of all the electronics, of all the different, the refrigerator, the stove, the microwave, the radio, the motor, all the broom, the mop, all the inventions that we created to make our own enslavement easier, that you put labeled the light bulb filament. You still, Latimer, a so-called Negro, invented the light bulb. All right. But yet you still give Thomas Edison credit for it, even though there are court records showing that Latimer defeated him in court. All right. Just as recent, to give you another example of such a thing, the Wachowski brothers with the series that Keanu Reeves was in with Lawrence Fishburne, The Matrix. That was written by a so-called Negro woman, man. She also won in court. But yet, when you look it up or when you go buy the movies, it still says Wachowski brothers on it. Right? Matter of fact, the very music that's playing in the background. All right? That was our music, man. Jacob came up with that music, not you pale faces. Okay? Rock and roll. That was created by Jake. Blues, jazz. And classical music is the foundation of all modern music, and those were so-called Negroes. Bach, Beethoven, none of them were so-called white men. Yet you paint their faces to be such, and you're liars, man. And and there's a payment for that. All right. Verse 3, Wisdom of Solomon 5:3. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb and a reproach. Yeah, these niggas, these spics, these savages, these are the people of the Lord. Yes, we are. All right. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God, and a lot and his lot among the saints? Because the saints are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and of course our scattered brethren, the Israelite foreigners that are scattered among the heathen nations. And the Lord is going to recall the elect of them out from among those people. Verse 6, therefore have we erred, and yes, you have. You made a horrible mistake by putting your hands on us. All right. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun and the righteousness rose not upon us. The only thing that's going to raise upon you is a foot, a lightning bolt, fire. All right? Call halal Yahweh Shai, Bashem Wakar Padash, Wa Ababa Bal, Shalom, Kwam Yasharala.